Hi, my name is Elder Kevin Singletary, and this is my resurrection journey.
Greetings and welcome to Resurrection Journeys. Join us as we talk with those who have been a part of this church family for many years. Welcome to this Resurrection Journey.
How long have you been a member at Resurrection Life?
I've been a member of Resurrection Life going on 31 years.
Yes. What brought you to Resurrection Life?
When I came to Resurrection Life, I came out of a previous relationship, and I was invited to a Bible study. The Bible study back then was held on a Tuesday night, and I still remember what Apostle was teaching. At the time, it was Pastor Banks. But we were in the book of Genesis, the 37th chapter, and he was studying the life of Joseph. And what really drew me was that was the first time the Bible became real to me. And what do I mean by that? It became a living word. Every time he said Joseph while he was doing the study, I could see it was Kevin. So I saw my life unfold in the midst of that teaching. So when the Bible says that the word is a living word, that's when it became a living word. It came to one Bible study and it changed my life.
So would you say that was a moment when you realized this was your church home?
When I realized my church home, I came to that Bible study and I never went back to the church that I was attending prior to that. So I would say that was the moment it became my church home. But I have to share this. Many years later, the church that I previously attended, I was invited to speak there. The previous pastor had long gone. As a matter of fact, the pastor at the time, he had transitioned on to glory. So before accepting the invitation to go back to that church and speak, I went to the pastor because I've been taught well here. I didn't leave the right way. I never informed the set man that I was leaving. I just left. So I went to the pastor that was in place and I said, first, before I accept the invitation to speak in your house, I need to apologize to you because now I've learned. So I was taught well how to enter a ministry, but also I was taught how you leave a ministry. And because I didn't leave the right way, I had to go get it right with who was the set man at that time. So, I would say that Tuesday night, Resurrection Life became my home.
Yeah. Can you tell me a time apostle and pastor showed up for you in like a time?
How much time do you have? Yeah, I say that joke because I like to joke, but in the course of my time here, they've shown up for me numerous times. I can remember, I'll talk about pastor first because I'll talk from the mothering perspective. I went through a change of life situation, begins with the D. I really don't like to talk about that part. But as I was transitioning with my children, there were many days I had deep conversations with Pastor in terms of how to parent my children in the midst of separation and divorce. And she gave me so much good advice. I remember one time, something she said to me, it wasn't a rebuke, but it stuck to me. You know, like a good meal stick to your ribs? This was good spiritual food. She said, don't let your good be speaking evil on. And that was probably 20 odd years ago, but I've never forgotten that moment. But there were a lot of times I got a lot of advice because I had a daughter. So there were things as a single dad, I didn't know what to do with my daughter. So I would come to her to get motherly advice. Okay, this is, boys, you're just a little rough with your boys. You know, you give them that look. But the other thing I did was I spoiled my daughter. And so there were times that she had to teach me how to do some things where I wasn't spoiling her, but I need to parent her. So she showed me the difference in trying to overcompensate for the separation and the situation we're in. But no, this is how you be a parent, and this is how you be a godly parent in the midst of your situation. So that was a very pivotal time. And then I can also remember there was a time Apostle, there's so many different situations they've come through. But even in that, I remember one time Apostle looked at me and he said, you need a break. And he advised me to take a vacation. And he assisted me in the cost of the vacation. And he did it without any fanfare. And those are the things that I appreciate, the conversations when no one else was around, how they poured into me, but not only into me, into my children. Now, as my life began to progress and my situation changed, there was a time that I got real sweet on this young lady. And with Apostle being an apostle and having a prophetic gift, I came to him and I said, it was a Friday and it was cleanup. I still remember it. I was cleaning. And he said, I spoke to Pastor. And she said, you're going to be coming here soon to ask me about marrying that woman. And I said, wow, look at that. He picked up on it in the spirit that I had found the one that my heart loves. And of course, he and Pastor gave me their blessings, and we attended marriage counseling. And as they say, the rest is history.
It's good. What would you say keeps you most excited about returning back to Resurrection Life for service?
What keeps me most excited is the word and the way that the word is taught. Because I've heard good preaching, I've heard decent teaching, but the way that Apostle breaks down the word, but more so than the way that he breaks down the word, is the way that he and Pastor live their lives. The scripture says, follow me as I follow Christ. I've had the opportunity to travel with Apostle. He's the same man on the basketball court. He's the same man in Fort Pierce, outside of St. Lucie County. We've done basketball together. Just being around them and seeing the life that they live, not just preach it, but they live it. Not that they're perfect, but I have an example to emulate. And so because of the deposit they've made in me, I've been able to take that into the marketplace, how I parent my children, how I even serve and love my wife. So I've had an example to follow. I had great parents. My grandparents were a great example. But think about the spiritual example added to the strong foundation my grandparents gave. Then they've come and added another layer. So now I think I'm reaping the benefits of my upbringing naturally and my upbringing spiritually.
You mentioned the consistency of character of Apostle and Pastor. How would you say they've changed your life in Resurrection Life?
Well, as I said, I attended a church from the time I was knee-high to a grasshopper to now. Till I was 18. But I learned more probably in the first year being here than I learned on all those 18 years in that church. I'm not taking anything away from the church I grew up in because that gave me my foundation. But they added so much because now I understand about stature, understand about the depth of the word, understand about dimensions, and some of the things that they teach where we understand about the power of my words and understanding that my life is an example for others. So it's not that just you know the word, have it in your head, but how do you live this thing? How do you walk this thing out every day in your occupation, when you deal with your family, when you deal with your neighbors? Because people should see the Christ in us, because we're the only Bible a lot of people are ever going to read. And I can say I've had the opportunity to speak in other churches, and I think one of the greatest compliments I've ever received is they said, you sound just like your apostle.
It is one of the greatest compliments. Things. You mentioned many memorable moments out of your welfare. I'd like to know your most memorable moment at Resurrection.
That would be hard pressed because I've had so many. I think I'm going to go with what happened recently when on Mother's Day, but Apostle asked me to MC the Mother's Day program. We had the elders and the pastors speak, but I had an opportunity to share my testimony of what I went through recently. And part of what I shared was during the course of my time going to cancer treatment, in the mornings when I was driving down the West Pond between 6 and 6:30, most mornings I received a phone call from Apostle, and he prayed with me daily. So my radiation treatments were 35 radiation treatments, and the vast majority of those days, I received a call. He was praying as we were driving down for those treatments. I said he didn't have to do that. And then there were the days that Pastor called to check on me when my wife wasn't physically able to be with me. She had to work. So during one of my lowest times physically, my spirit was strong, but they were making sure that Kevin was okay. So that was because it was important for me to get well, not just for me, but for my children and for the house.
I am a witness of being teaching student ministry at Resurrection Life. What are some other ways you would say that Resurrection Life keeps the future at the center?
Well, I work with youth outside of the church. Excuse me. A lot of people say the children are our future, but the children are our present, and they're relevant. So I use the term, we need a cross-pollination of the generation. So what I'm saying, one of the beautiful things about Resurrection Life, no matter what age you are, you have a part to play. And no matter what age you are, the word is broken down to a level where it's palatable for you to learn and to grow. So the kids are learning, the teens are learning, the young adults, the singles are learning, the middle-aged people, the well-seasoned people, and the people that are really seasoned are all learning, but they all have a part to play. And I think that's how relevant. That's one of the ways that the church stays relevant, because no one's excluded. Everybody's included.
A young man like this, coming to church, want to do the right thing, what would you tell him about the importance of being in a house like this for young?
It's very important for young men your age to be connected, because you're not just living for yourself. See, a lot of times when I was young, I just thought about the moment. But there's life after the current moment that you're in. So this house is a house that works about building legacy, because we're taught that it's the sons that receive the inheritance. So it is important to be a son so that you can inherit what God has intended for you to inherit. So young men need to be grown. One of the things that David told Solomon before he became king, he said he was tender. See, there are a lot of young men that are tender, but you have to have seasoned men around them. He said he called the young men because they're strong, but he called the older men because they're wise. And so you need to get the wisdom so that you can grow into everything that God's called you to be. Remember, David was called to be king at 18, but he didn't become king until his 30. So there's that time of maturation. So this house is a good place to grow and to mature.
And then I have a question. Could you expound a little bit more on don't let your good be spoken evil of?
Don't let your good be spoken evil of. So I'll give you the example. You can have friends, but they're not doing the right thing, but you're doing the right thing. But sometimes the term says you're guilty by association. You can have the right intent, but you can get the wrong outcome. Paul even talks about food. You might can eat chocolate cake, but chocolate cake might not be good for me. So I don't want to offend you by offering you chocolate cake because it's not good for you, but I can handle it. So sometimes we have to look at our associations and some of the things that we're doing. Our intent could be right, but it could give off the wrong example. To the people that are contemplating joining the church, we're coming out of COVID, and a lot of people are saying, I can enjoy church online, or I don't have to do this, or people use the term church hurt. But this house is a place that you can be healed and made whole. Remember, there were 10 lepers, and only one came back and thanked Jesus. And Jesus told that one, you're not only healed, but he said, be thou made whole. And I can remember teaching that lesson, and the thing that God said to me, never let your cry for help be louder than your cry of thanks. So I just want to say thank you to this house for making me not just healed, but made whole. So if anyone is looking for a place where they want to be healed and made whole, this is the right house.
Thank you for joining Resurrection Journeys. If you want more information about our church, call 772-465-0036 or visit us online at reslifefl.com. Until next time, thank you for joining us on this Resurrection Journey.